Hello, I'm Angelica Cardenas.
Hi, I'm Luis Ocampo.
Hello, I am JIAZEL Fernandez.
Hello, I am Mary Joy Hison.
Hello, I am John Perry Cario.
And
I
I
am
am a working student.
Finally! College na ako! Ito na to! Madali ko na lang maabot mga pangarap ko! Kayang-kaya ko to!
Akala ko madali. Ang hirap-hirap pala.
Dire-diretso na performances. Sobrang dami ko nang na-miss. Paano na?
Naku naman, malilate na ako sa klase ko. Wala pa ba yung magte-take over sa akin? Paano to?
Online class na naman. Nakaka-drain.
Hay naku, nakakainis na tong pandemic na ito. Nakakawala ng motivation.
Problema na nga sa bahay. Pati ba naman dito sa school? Paano pa ako magpapahinga niyan?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm good.
I'm okay.
I'm doing well.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking.
During this pandemic, I find it very hard since we're staying at our houses and because of that, we have lesser motivation to do our tasks or studies.
It's okay even if it's a bit difficult to take an online class.
Actually, I find it hard to cope up and keep up with certain situations since I am most of the time at home.
It's really hard at first, but I got used to it.
Well, it's very hard. But I have no choice. I have to keep moving for my family, my goals, and dreams in life.
I am currently enrolled with two major subjects and every Wednesdays and Fridays, I usually work at our SP office.
My life is somehow easier now during the pandemic because I no longer go to school physically, so I take online classes. Sadly, I am not very focused in studying because I also have the responsibility to finish my work at home, and because the pandemic, which scholars are only giving 50% tuition and miscellaneous fee discounts.
I have a load of subjects that I have to balance with virtual car recordings.
So apart from studying, I'm also an ESL teacher. I teach English to Vietnamese students.
I think it's how to keep my mind at peace, especially because we are given different battles every day.
I am a student assistant in one of the libraries in the university.
I am a student assistant who is tasked to help in the library to assist both students and teachers for their needs.
I am a singer for the school and I am part of the group who performs during school and inter-school events. We also represent the university whenever there are competitions or events outside.
So there, we cater students in the medical field. We lend them things like microscopes, beakers, chemical reagents, and many more. We are also in charge of the different laboratories in newbie, where it's really hard to distribute supplies around school.
Besides from the paperwork in the office, going to the bank to withdraw and deposit money, I also help in the feeding program, outreach program, and livelihood program of the foundation.
To be honest, I didn't have a hard time balancing my work and studies because if we have a schoolworks or assignments, we can do it while we are on duty as long as you ask permission. As long as we ask permission from our immediate supervisors.
As a working student at school, I balance my time, so when I have my break time, I do activities and assignments that I have not done yet. And at work, we have a so-called broken schedule and the duty is really based on the subjects offered.
Before COVID, I have to balance my studies with practices and performances. I have to see to it that these two won't interlap with each other, since performances are most of the time more important for the school. We scholars should give some sort of effort to cope with whatever activity we have missed. And now, during online classes, I allot a certain time where I can study and do virtual recordings. I usually do the virtual recordings during midnight or to dawn. Midnight to dawn when our place is quiet.
Hard for me to balance my studies and my duty because my boss was lenient, very lenient when it comes to our studies. But just don't forget that you are still a student assistant and need to help in the lab.
It's simple. I just need to know what my priority is because I know to myself that I can do all the tasks in one sitting.
Yes, I am assigned at the Centennial Library. And in the library, we have 5 major tasks to do. The first one is the entrance. It is where the students scan their ID before entering the library. And then second is the baggage counter. It is where the students leave their bags before entering the reading areas. And third one is the circulation. It is where the students can return or borrow books, and it is also where they can ask us to sign their BTRs, utilizations, room use slips, and fourth task is shelving books, and fifth one is shelf reading. Aside from those, we also do the cleaning every closing in the afternoon and opening in the morning.
I was assigned to the Centennial Library Department, 6th floor. Specifically, I have a duty to do every 1 hour after the succeeding hours after 7:30 in the morning. For example, at 7:30 to 8, I clean the tables and sweep the floor, wipe the bookshelves. At 8 to 9, I will be at the baggage counter where they leave the bags. Sometimes the task changes. Sometimes I will be at the entrance where the students enter. They need to scan their ID. At the counter in borrowing books, we charge for books that the students are looking for when he cannot find it, and also at the counter where the books are returned.
Member of the University of Baguio Voices Coral. I am the external president of the group, in charge of all the paperworks and communication matters outside the university. And I am also currently the section leader of the Altos.
At the central supply room. Honestly, I don't know what my job was. We have lots of work to do, especially when all the labs were centralized. You can sometimes see me in the high school department or even the kitchen.
Foundation, the charitable arm of the University of Baguio. In our outreach program, we donate some approved requests. In our feeding program, we deliver checks to the 10 beneficiary schools of the foundation, and in our livelihood programs, we help some parents to have source of income.
The struggles and challenges that I have faced being a working student is, it is very tiring both mentally and physically. Especially when you're having a bad day and you encountered a very rude student, you are just too tired to go to class sometimes.
My biggest struggle is the wakeful or sleeplessness because I go to bed late, because I still do my assignments and other requirements. Then I wake up early to cook, to clean the house before leaving the house. Sometimes I do my house cleaning at night so the next morning I can just do little and so that I will not be late for my school duty. The usual challenge is towards the students who are hard to silent inside the library. Sometimes they listen, but after a few minutes, they will still make noise. I also watch the students if they are eating because it is forbidden to eat inside the library. They sometimes hide their food in their bags. When no one is looking at them, they will actually eat and then sometimes leave their scrap and wrappers of the food they eat or drank.
Being a Voices member, we have to prioritize performing, especially if a certain event is an official one. which means we have to be excused from our classes to perform, even if it means missing our classes. But it is okay. The challenge is we have to see to it that we can catch up with all the activities we have missed that day.
Nakaka-drain. As in, yun lang. Especially if you're shifts in the morning. You don't have the energy to attend your classes. My class cards were usually dropped because I was lazy and just wanted to rest.
Number 1 is being late or absent in class because I need to do my duty. The second one is being left behind, not with studies, but with friends, because I don't have enough time to spend with them.
My mom provides my allowance and all my financial needs.
I am given an allowance from home of 500 pesos per month. So I budget it for my school needs and my personal needs. Sometimes I just walk home so as not to reduce it too much. I bring food for lunch. When run out of money, I borrow from my coworker or friends.
I have an older sister who helps me and some friends who also supports me.
At first, it was really hard to budget, lalo na sa akin kasi may bisyo ako. But eventually, I learned to lessen it. Also, there were some financial assistance from the government that I receive every semester.
Besides from being a student assistant, I am currently an ESL tutor. It is where I get my allowance every time. And since I'm just a part-time tutor, the salary there is not enough for my everyday expenses. So I still need to ask my family about it.
I manage my time by doing the easy tasks first before the hard ones.
When at work, sometimes there are no students who come, or sometimes there are but only a few, and there I am assigned to the Baguio area. I can review there, do an assignment, sometimes take a quick break and have lunch.
I assure that I make the effort to catch up with the days I have missed, to talk humbly to the teachers, and also ask my classmates for help.
I do everything that needs to be done at once. That's why I have a lot of free time. But of course, I still cram.
You know, it's very hard to balance your time, especially if you're a working student. But I realize that after giving yourself a time to adjust to everything, you should really set your goal. Take one step at a time. I will leave you with this quote: time management is life management. Remember that your life depends on the decisions and the actions you do.
There's nothing wrong with being scolded, especially when I really did something wrong. But in my case, I never experienced being scolded because of my work. But I get scolded a lot of times for being very noisy while I'm on duty.
When my staff scolds me, all I do is listen, and then I will say what the reason is when I make a mistake.
Being a Voices member, you should always be open to criticisms and corrections. So, especially if it makes me improve, I just keep quiet and listen to whatever it is they have to scold me for.
Lagi ako napapagalitan because of being late. My boss always tells me that I should practice being punctual because when I'm going to become an actual employee, they won't be lenient like my boss or like her.
I haven't experienced being scolded yet, but one thing is for sure, they will not sugarcoat everything they're going to say. There will be harsh words when they get angry. You will feel the disappointment of them. You could see their eyes glowed with savage fire, and then you will just wish to be invisible. At first, I was not used to the pressure, but now I realize that mistakes gives us an experience to become better. It's a room for us to improve. It teaches us how to handle things.
After a very tiring week from school, every Sundays, I usually get a lot of sleep.
Working and studying makes me nervous because of lack of sleep, and I am not sure how much knowledge I have retained. That's why when I have my break time, I really sleep.
My family and everyone who believes in me.
I just go with the flow. I never avoided it because there will be a point in time that I will realize everything I did was wrong. And I was right. I got tired and bored doing all those things.
To be honest, it's my faith in God. I just stand with all of His promises and my family. I already conditioned myself that no matter what will I be facing, I will be firm.
During my time as a student assistant, I never joined any contests or events, but I consider that being a student assistant and working on a very friendly environment, that for me is already an achievement. And for my consolation as a working student is the everyday experience that I gain from working at the library.
The one great achievement as a working student is that I am officially a fourth-year college student, and I am still continuing to strive no matter how hard or many challenges there are in life, which I can still face and handle. Many working students have backed out due to stress, and sometimes they could not cope with their colleague or their staff, but here I am still striving.
Aside from the winnings and recognitions, my great achievements are the experiences that will be forever engraved in my memory. These experiences could help me face the adult world, like working under pressure, being flexible, being frugal, and even managing time.
I was never really a fan of joining contests, lalo na pag about academics. I joined contests, pero dapat yung nagpo-perform ako. May it be on singing or dancing.
Being a scholar itself is an achievement already. Given this opportunity to help others while being helped, inspired me a lot to do my best in everything. Seeing the joy of the children whom we are helping also delights and fulfills my heart.
Of course, my beloved mother, because she's been doing her very best to provide for us, for me and my siblings, even if she's a single parent.
My inspiration in my life is my family because I know how life is in the province. I want to give them a good life so I can help them with their needs and also to help myself so I can be able to say that I have my future.
My sister, because she has taught me a lot of things, especially in being strong in facing challenges in life.
Ako, I just want to see myself successful and have the life I actually dreamt to have. Now that I'm earning as an ESL teacher, I spend a lot. That's when I realized I need to work hard to fulfill this fantasy of mine.
My inspiration, of course, is my family. my dreams for my family, and especially my dreams for myself. Becoming a scholar of the FRB Foundation pushed me even further to strive, to stay determined and focused on my goal.
My goals are to finish my studies and find a stable job for me to be able to provide for my family. Since being the first child, I believe that it is my responsibility to help my mom in our finances.
My goal in my life is to graduate and have a proper job to help my mother and my older brother. And also I want to help teach in our province because I know there are many children who did not graduate because to the poverty of our people and the lack of teaching.
My goal, I want to finish my studies as a good voices member. I also want to be remembered by our trainers that I was a good member, singer, and even leader. I want to be remembered as the ate who helped the members and led them during their time as a member as well.
I really don't know what being successful means, but I just want to live a life that I don't need to have problems with finances because I know how that felt and it's stressful.
My goal is to show my gratitude towards the Bautista family by helping me graduate, to let them know that I am worthy of the scholarship that they have given, to make my family proud and also to make myself proud. Also, to bring with me the lessons, the experiences that molded me to become a better person to the real life. The real life that will open a lot of opportunities.
I'm going to define my life as a working student in one word. I would define it as growth.
It is a lesson.
An adventure.
Family.
Survival.
I define it as growth since being a student assistant, you will learn a lot of things from your superiors and even with your coworkers that can help you grow both personally and professionally.
It is a lesson because you will interact with other people. Stress is also present, and despite that hard workload, there is still fun times in it. At lalo na sa aking natutunan ko na rin na mag-budget ng pera.
It is an adventure for me because there had been ups and downs of being a Voices member. There were countless tears of sadness and happiness. There were performances and competitions where you will experience a roller coaster of emotions. In these, you can see yourself growing and improving while learning a lot of lessons in singing and also in life.
You know, it is like having or living in a dormitory full of people you love. You go to school and see them, eat breakfast with them. The most funny part there was you get scolded by your mother. Okay, that's what we call our boss, and we just laugh it out.
Survival because being an SA or a scholar is not that easy. I think being an SA is only for the strong-willed individual who is willing to overcome all the obstacles in life.
My motto is keep moving forward.
Education is my passport to the future.
From the Bible, James 1 verse 2. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds.
Just do everything that needs to be done, and everything follows.
Life is full of challenges, but these challenges are only given to us because our God Almighty knows that our faith is strong enough to get through them. Remember Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. So even though life is very difficult to control, we should be strong because God will never forsake us in every step we take.
The wonderful things about being a scholar is that working as a student, we have the opportunity to gain countless experiences.
We work under pressure and still thrive in managing our time.
With being a working student, you will understand which activities are essential, and you will have a much easier time adjusting to the real world.
Yes, it takes extra effort to hold down our jobs and have good grades, but having the fire to continue working to finish our studies, well, it's what keeps us going.
In this we learn that despite all the hardships that came upon us, we still stand our ground and work through the difficulties of life.
I am John Perry Carlo.
I am Mary Joy JISON.
I am JIAZEL Fernandez.
I am Angelica Cardenas.
I am Louise Ocampo.
A working student.
A working student.
A working student.
A working student.
Working student. And we made it.